Good evening and welcome to RockSingle. I am your host, Tyron Joe, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inherent, and the final authority for all. Rock Single is founded on He who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. The Rock Single podcast is a cross cultural response to the economic and social climate of today's relationship scene. Rock Single will teach you how to maneuver and still be kingdom minded throughout your relationship experiences. Our aim is to help repair the fallen and broken man with a kingdom mindset. The podcast seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local kings and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Kingdom Renaissance Cross Country. Let's welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the show.
Whoop, whoop.
Man, I like that song.
You know. You know.
Hey, it's bomb. What she say? She ain't that
Yeah.
peculiar.
Yeah. Man, we rocking.
Oh,
Who is that?
my
Who is that?
shirt came.
I see it. I see it.
What is that? What shirt is that?
Come through with it then. Let them see it. Let them see it.
That's the black fist, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Rock Truth. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, Brandon, baby.
I ain't know that. Okay. Ah,
Yeah.
I was
Truth
so
with the
waiting. I was
black
like,
fist.
it should be in the mailbox today. Like, no, wait today. Yesterday it came. No, I was like, yeah.
I must have missed that one.
Hey,
What?
hold on, hold on. Nah, no. I see you with the dreads. Hold on, I got it.
Who got dread?
Oh, they
Okay,
fresh.
we got
Wait.
dreads.
Oh, they
Hold
fresh.
on.
Dad got the dread.
With the two
I
strings.
Yeah, I'm trying to let mine
He
grow a little
get
bit
them
more,
started.
and I'm gonna go and get mine started.
like
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Got the two strands. I see you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get some
Come on
hang
with it.
time.
Yeah.
We'll get
Right.
hang
Hang
time.
time.
I hurt my head doing that.
He got the teeny bopper dreads now.
Them days over for me. Them days over for me. I'm about to ball it down probably
No,
next
hey,
week. It's over
put you
with
some
for me.
castor oil. Put you some Jamaican black
I
castor
gotta get me.
oil
I
on
gotta
the
give me some
edge.
castor oil.
Self
I,
awareness is
I,
key,
I,
man.
I had braids for 6 years. I'm done with that life. This
Yeah.
all
I
I'm
feel
balling
you.
a little bit right there, but I'm gonna
Hey,
cut it all down.
get your scalp massage on. After I had my daughter, my edges
Let me
fell
see.
all the way out. I was up here looking like my
Wait.
dad with
Ooh,
this.
No,
Wait, I had
let me
a
see.
low fro and that dad lining.
The low fro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because my hair was growing from all the prenatals and stuff I was on, so it was growing real fast,
Oh,
and I ain't have
okay,
no
okay.
edges.
Them prenatals be on point.
them edges was clean. I guess that's the
For real.
postpartum hormones. They don't tell you about that. They're like, oh yeah, your edges will fall out. They
Let
were
me
like,
say
your hair
this.
gonna be long and luxurious. Yeah, and
Let
then
me
after
say
you
this
had a
since you
baby,
got
your
the
edges.
shirt with the black fist. Happy Black History Month to everybody. I don't think we said that last
Yeah,
week. I don't think we said that.
Hi.
yeah.
Anybody got Black History fact?
Uh,
I was born in
that's stupid,
November
'cause
That's a Black History fact. That's a
29,
Black History fact.
1988.
you know
There it
what?
is.
You know what? You did ask who made that beat, so here's the history fact. Shout out to Tay Larry and Gender Inc. for the beats and dropping all of the rock
Okay.
tributes for us. So that's history.
That's it.
Yes,
That's history. That's
it
it.
True.
is.
Related on March 21st. We were actually incorporated on the 21st of 2020. That's Black History.
Come on. Come on
Hey,
with it. Come
yes.
on with it.
And I
Come
think
on
it
with
is
it.
important because, like, when people think Black history, they automatically assume, like, go, just reach
Right.
back, and they always want to, go back to the slavery times. And it's like, yeah, that's a part of our history, but we're making history. We are
Right.
living history. Don't get so lost in the past. Like, it's good to know where you came from, but you also got to know where you're going. Like,
Yes,
who is next to me? Who on the side of me? Who right
yeah,
behind me that I can pull up with me? Who right in
Right.
front of me that I can follow behind?
that's
Right.
it.
Little baby foot. Come on now. That's Black
Right.
History. Come
Right.
on.
Exactly.
Come
He
on
said,
now. Come for real, cause she don't know what little baby foot gonna do when she grow up.
She
See, come
don't.
on, come on.
No, yep, sure don't. But I know it's gonna be something great.
There it
I
is.
heard the kids that give you the most flex, they grow up to be president. So
Really? Okay, okay.
the ones that put you through it the most, they gonna be the ones that do something.
Ah,
"No,
CEOs of
okay,
some companies and stuff like that.
I know that's right. I know that's
okay.
right.
Well, all right, we're gonna get started. Will, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Will, real quick, let me hit this topic real quick because I'm anxious to hear what everybody got to say. Um, tonight's topic is I want to get it right because me, I be paraphrasing topics. Let me get this topic right. It is hold on. Oh, there it is. Kingdom courtship.
That's
How do
it.
you
Right?
represent you to others? All right.
Okay.
What I was saying what I wrote earlier was the representation. How do you what is your representation like? And I want to prepare your minds to think about when you go into that work potluck and you making a tuna casserole, okay? How do you want your tuna casserole to be? You want to put it. Do you want to put it in one of them old 20-year worn out
First of all, don't
pans?
ever bring no tuna casserole to no work potluck.
Will
Ever.
uh,
Don't do it.
the
Ah.
20 the
I'm just
20
telling
year
you that
pan?
he about to be over there with the tater salad."
Oh,
and
that's
don't put no raisins in it.
that is disgusting, y'all.
Yeah, not
Out of
especially not no raisins, especially not no raisins. But yeah. So I want y'all to think about this even the viewers, the ones that's viewing.
Yes.
Think about how you want to present this tuna casserole. And
Mm-hmm.
I probably would eat no tuna casserole anyway, because
Right.
yeah, I don't eat everybody's tuna.
Like, just straight out the gate, Phil.
Uh I
Right.
like the let's talk about a veggie lasagna. Yeah, I wrote that down too. What
Oh,
kind of
that works.
pan
That
do
works.
you want to put that in? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
You
got
might want to go to Dollar Tree. You might want to go to Dollar Tree and get you one of those aluminum cake pans, a
no,
plastic
no, no.
pan,
You got to put that in the glass casserole.
one of
You
them
got to let them know
cake
it's
pans or
something
whatever.
delicious in this. When you bring the glass,
Oh yeah.
when you bring the glass, they like, oh, she cook. She ain't have to go and get no temporary dish. She got permanent dishes for the cooking. You
We
got
talk.
to come with the glass dish, like, and make sure y'all wash it out so I can take it back home. Y'all get them leftovers. I don't need this. I cook this all the time.
I know that's
You
right.
you got. Go ahead,
It's
son. Go
culture.
ahead,
It's
put you
culture.
some on your.
It's culture.
Hilarious.
Yes. Lord Ty, what's happening with the mics? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been interrupted a lot, guys. And I want to try to get through this, and then I'm gonna toss it back to y'all real quick
Okay.
if that's okay. All
Sure.
right, okay. Uh, let me see. What was I at? I was at okay. Yes, the preparation. How are you going to present this? It's very important because we're gonna tie this into dating. We're gonna tie this into dating. What type of clothes do you wear? What are the words that you say? What is it? Because some people don't really know what to say when they are in the presence of a king, or when they're in the presence
Mm.
of a queen. And I'm one. I'm one. I can raise my hand. I'm one. I know I've messed up many times and said the wrong things, said the wrong words. But the good thing is that this is a learning opportunity. We all are works in progress. And hey, we can learn for the next time. For the we can do better the next time. So these are questions that our listeners to think about as we get ready to discuss this. What type of clothes do you want to wear when you know, let's say you get ready to go to that Eric Benet concert. Let's say you get ready to go to Eric Benet concert. You like, wait, it's gonna be all kind of men there, or all kind of women gonna be there. And I want to pull out my fine linen. What is it gonna be? Because I do know some and let me say this when I'm saying what is it gonna be, because honestly, it don't have to be nothing too scandalous. We talking about modest apparel. There is modest apparel out there that you can wear that is seriously, this modest apparel that you can wear. It'll catch a person's attention, just like spaghetti straps, just like gray sweatpants. It'll catch anybody's attention. So those are my two questions I want to throw out on the table. We want our panelists all to go ahead and dive in. What type of clothes? What are the words? How do you speak in the presence? Go ahead.
You want to start it off, Mary?
Sure. Why not? Why? Of course. Here's looking at you, kid. Gosh, yeah. So in the presence, it's imperative. Representation is everything. I guess it has to do with what is it that you're trying to display. One, two, what are you attempting to also attract? So that goes into representation, and that part is imperative because it's about you presenting the same each time, like a consistent you each time. I feel like somebody creeping behind me. I see it. Is it Tanya?
Yes.
It
Whoa.
came up creeping like on Boys in the Hood. Like, who was that creeping? No, shout out to my son, King.
So I
But yeah,
creep.
hey. So yes, representation and how you okay. I cannot. But he's being helpful. He's closing the blinds and the light and all,
Hmm.
just kings, But yeah, so representation. So the importance of, I guess like I said, it's about who you want to attract and how you're presenting yourself consistently. That you're not, this is who you are, this is what you do. It's the culture, it's a habit. You're not just doing this trying to, attract somebody and pretend as if what was she
Bait the trap.
the fake and bake, yeah, with the fake and bake, and you trying to it's a
The
trap.
bait and switch.
And the bait and switch, you ain't really that at all, But representation is very imperative because again, how do you go before a king is important. The words that you use, the way you present yourself. Are you to a queen? Are you presenting yourself as a queen or a commoner? um you know um then there's also, again, going back to conversation, the things that you say, even with, like, not being facetious, with God in our prayers. Sometimes we go to God, who is, who can handle any and everything. And we go to him as if he can't. We approach the throne as if he can't, or he didn't empower us to do so. So a lot of the things that we say in prayer to him, honestly, he looking at us like, I mean, for real, like, can you imagine
Yeah.
for a court and you're asking for rights that's already been provided? You look crazy, and he probably looking at you like, "Where's your lawyer? Like, why would anybody even send you in here, without proper representation, right?" So it's like, all of this ties into, your approach, and what it is that you're trying to attract. So that's my representation. So.
Doc.
Oh, me. Well, um, I don't know. I'm always just me because I like to be comfortable, and when I'm comfortable, I can make other people around me feel comfortable. So that's my go to. My goal is to be comfortable. So it's not like unkempt or something like like this is comfortable. Like I got on my branded, my branded crop, boom, rock truth. Hey. So, I'll probably wear something like that, some nice jeans and, some cute sandals or something if it's warm, or, some nice boots or something, and a jacket or something. Like not too much, like my glasses, because I'm sort of blind. I don't usually wear contacts because I don't know, they're uncomfortable. They tend to be uncomfortable. So I usually have on some glasses. Like I tend to look quiet and like a nerd. So it doesn't matter what I have on, especially if I have to wear my glasses with it. Like you're gonna be like, oh, okay, she seems like she's nice. I don't know what it is about glasses that make people think that people with glasses on are nice. Like that's like the
Seem like
automatic
you nice,
assumption.
so are you?
I mean, uh, I'm kind. There's a difference. There's a difference. Nice usually means that. No, I'm serious. Like nice usually means that you like you don't really have that hard edge. Like I can have that hard edge if I'm in a situation where I need to have it. Like that's not, I'm multifaceted, and nice isn't necessarily on the roster of, of
Oh,
my
so
of my playbook.
so you think when people say nice, you think they might be thinking like
Like
you a pushover
docile.
or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No,
okay,
when people say
okay.
nice, they think like docile, meek, those type of things. I'm not any of that, and that tends to, throw people off because they'll say something to me, and I respond quickly and witty.
Yeah,
And if they
yeah,
tried to shade me, oh, my shade is like the cloud coverage,
yeah.
thick and heavy, everything getting dark. Everybody gonna be like, whoa, what happened over there? And it's words. Like I don't even have to disrespect you or none of that. But you gonna understand that I don't appreciate you attempting to disrespect
Right.
me. So I'm very eloquent, and I got my words. So I'm always there with it. And if it goes over your head, like a lot of times that's enough of a shade in itself. Is that, oh, she just said something, I don't understand what she said. She probably was talking about me. She's probably talking. I might have, I might not have, but if you don't understand, that's your fault. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm usually comfortable, and I make other people feel comfortable, and that's pretty much how I approach a king is like, I'm comfortable in your space, like not just confident, but I'm comfortable because I know who I am and how I'm represented daily. So it's not like I have to falsify my standard and an attempt to be, in a court where I don't belong. So it's never I never feel out of place, and because of that, other people don't feel out of place around me.
Okay, King Dwayne.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
When I think about representing ourselves, first thing I think about is just respect. A lot of people think that it's, um, we serve a God that, maybe some people don't know that yet, but we serve a God that works from the inside out. When in humanity we work from the outside in. So what I mean by that is a lot of people we've come to the understanding that we know that people, they look at us and they judge from the outside. Well, God judges from the inside. So we have the blueprint right there with how we should work. So you come to the situation with respect, starting with being a self-aware of yourself. If you're self-aware of yourself, then you have every intention, because you're intentionally dating. You're not just out there just to play around, because as I tell people all the time, there's a difference between intentionally dating and dating. If you're just dating, then you're for the streets. It's that simple. If you're just dating, you're looking for amusement rides to hop on one after the other because you're just out there trying stuff. But when you're intentionally dating, it's hard not to have self awareness. It's hard not to have respect or build self respect for yourself, because you have to go into the market, because it is a market. You have to go into the market whole and complete as a person. You have to go into the market self aware and honest with yourself and with everybody else. And because we're working from the inside out, and that's how God judges, that character building that you're doing is going to make you have enough respect for yourself to understand that, just like when you're seeking a job, and I've seen people dress like they don't care. They'll go to the interview and they look like, I've been to job fairs where there were thousands and hundreds of people, One of the last job fairs I went to was a few years ago here in, out in Gary. And man, there were people that just showed up, literally looked like they just left the club, all kind of stuff. They didn't respect the situation. They didn't respect the moment. You know what I'm saying? So when you are looking at people who planned for it and were competitive and they came dressed in their best, they dressed like people always say, or what's the point of dressing a certain way to go to church? It's because you understand you're in the presence corporately of a king. Obviously, God doesn't care. He wants you to come as you are for the most part. But when you pour forth an effort, it shows that if you can do that for a president, if you can do that for some, you can dress a certain way for some popular celebrity, then surely you can represent yourself properly to a king. And so a lot of us, we come any old type of way because we don't respect each other enough to say, hey, I'm going to represent myself in a way that says that I'm on the market for something great. I'm on the market for everything that comes out of my mouth. I'm not just talking. I'm not just talking it out, but I'm walking it out to the point where they see all the way down to the way I dress. I can't come lacking. So for me, it starts with respect. It starts with respect because we want to work from the inside out. And if you work on the inside, then you're not going to have time to debate or fight about, I'm not going to wear this or I'm not going to do. What you're building up on the inside is going to make you want to represent from the outside. So you're going to come looking like you respect the person that you're trying to win.
Absolutely. And you know what? That actually I was thinking about this gold dress I have. It's a long sleeve dress and it's like up to here with a low back, but it's a pretty short dress. However, when I wore it to the club, no one treated me like I was wearing a short dress. They still treated me with respect. They still asked to even talk to me. Like not for a dance. They asked could they even talk to me. Can I talk to you for a minute? Can I sit here and talk with you? That's what they did to me. And I have on a little dress. Like, but it's
This was a
because of
club you was at?
yes, I was in a club. It was strippers and all. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was one of them clubs. And I
Okay.
was yeah, and
Wait,
I
it was a
was
strip club, and they said could they talk to you in the strip club?
yep.
Oh, they
But that
must have went drinking that night. They
no,
hadn't
oh
had
no,
no
no, they
drink.
no, they was messed up and they was on several different drugs. I saw them. I watched them and I saw them. They yeah, yeah, they
Wow.
were in it. So and like that really took me aback, like actually just sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, wow, like it really is about like what's in you and how you carry yourself. Because like you could go wrapped up in a sheet and walk down the street, but if you walk like that sheet is the hottest thing that you could ever put on, they're gonna be like, I gotta get me a sheet. Because of the
Everybody
way you
want one.
wearing that sheet, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
and him King Dwayne when he brought that up, like yes, that's absolutely it. The inner is absolutely the important thing because the outer is gonna reflect whatever you're carrying inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree too. I think that, the point we were talking about going before God, a lot of it is, and even with just relationship, a lot of it is lack of education. We're not taught this stuff. We're not taught how to properly represent. We're not taught properly how to dress. And yes, he's saying come as you are, but he talking about here. Like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
again, when you obey the commandment, which is go ye therefore, they never make it back to your father's house inappropriately dressed because you discipled them there. You told them about your daddy there where they were. You told them, hey, this how my daddy rolled. Please, when you meet my father, come like this, do this like this, do that like that was all part of your discipling process. So you were supposed to disciple where they are, bring them back to your father's house. So this is again, if you are a woman, you're in the courtship scene, and before you bring somebody back to your daddy house, you tell them the same thing. Like, hold on, this is my daddy. Please, when he say this, don't say that. When you do this one, it's the same exact thing. So it's all about representation and like Ant was saying, come at your best. Like, and stop playing like your best some jeans and a t-shirt, bro. He know what your best is. He gave it to you. You didn't give it to yourself. So stop fronting. And like he was saying, if you could do this for somebody who you believe is this figure, this idol, surely. you can do it for the recreator or the creator of all.
Let me ask you, Aunt, did you say something about self-awareness? You said something about you always getting judged as always being self-aware. Did you say something like that?
Just calling out self awareness, because if you're self aware, going, piggybacking off what Mary was talking about, when you're self aware, you're actually being realistic with yourself, and that's why my saying is always, the scrutiny starts with me. I scrutinize the way I do. I had a situation last night where someone really wanted to challenge some of what I say, and we had an interesting conversation, and I just told her, I said, I'm not going to back off on some of my stances because I scrutinize myself even harder. Self awareness is just being honest with reality. We're living in a generation right now where everything is hashtag my truth. Well, the scriptures say that there's only one that's the way, the truth, and the life.
Teach,
So at
King,
the end of the day,
teach.
we want to make all these delusions to make things convenient,
Teach.
not just the way we dress. And I love what Mary said. Yes, it starts here, because if you're whole here, and I said it on my live video last night when that you were on, Tyron, that at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, down to your weight, down to how your mentality is, if you need therapy, whatever, you have to be self-aware enough. It ain't time for pride. Do you really want to spend your life with somebody? Start working on yourself.
Yeah.
Start really peeling back those layers. And yes, the more layers you take back, it's going to have a stronger stench, but have the courage and the self awareness to deal with it. Because as you scrutinize yourself layer by layer and you start to face reality, now you have an opportunity to be a greater person and a better, more mature person. Because that's what God means when he addresses perfection. He's not talking
Yeah.
about being just, oh, I don't do anything. I'm just completely on point. He's talking about your maturity. Every time perfection is used, he's talking about maturity. Just put the word maturity in there, because that's what he's talking about. Because the more older you get, the more life God allows you to have, you're going to see people get more spiritual because they're understanding, I'm getting closer to death, or I'm getting closer to that other place. This life is temporary. That's why I age here. That's why I'm limited to wrinkles and all that stuff here, because this is a temporary time. So you don't have a lot of time to address who you are in the mirror. And when you can address who you are in the mirror, then as Doc Ock said, it's not hard to respect. If Doc is taking me to her dad, I'm not gonna sit up here and go back and forth with that. I care about you. I love you. I want you. So I have enough respect for you to not go back and forth. And the same way, vice versa, because we're trying to build something here. It's no debate. If you're who you say you are, it starts with self awareness, because that's the first person that you either going to tell the truth or you're going to lie to. And you take
Mm-hmm.
that mess right into the market, and people will see right through it and tell you who they are. Where does
Yeah.
that happen most? At a job. You sit in
Yep.
front of someone, you get
Yep.
interviewed, and it doesn't matter how much it hurts to hear somebody tell you're not qualified. If you can think all day that I can get in Yale all day long, I can get in Princeton all day long. Go there, and no matter how many A's you had in your high school, they're gonna let you know just how qualified you are to get in there.
Right. Right.
So you have to be real with yourself first, because that's what you're taking out into the market.
And you gotta watch that measuring stick, because like you said, like there's a different measuring stick between Yale and Princeton and your local, community college. That's a
Yeah.
whole different measuring
Stand.
stick. So you have to make sure that whatever you're applying yourself to, or wherever you're going, or wherever you're taking yourself to represent yourself, make sure that you understand the measuring stick, because you
Yeah.
can't go in there like, and that's basically what dressing for the occasion is. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different measuring stick. If you go into church, you dress a certain way. If you go into the swimming pool, you dress a certain way. You don't get in with your clothes on. You got to wear a swimsuit. So, you got to dress for the occasion, for what's required of you. and that's the thing that people think that they're pushing against the system or rebelling against, like, well, I'm gonna just wear this hoodie and these torn up jeans to this wedding. Like, huh? No, don't do
Right.
that. Like, why would you do that? Like, that's disrespectful to the amount of money and time and effort that went into planning that event. Like, they not doing that for jeans and hoodies. Like, no. So,
Yeah.
that's just a show of respect for the space that you're entering, because it's not your space. You have to understand that you can do whatever you want at home because that is your space. But once you leave that space, you are
Right.
now in someone else's domain. It doesn't matter
Yes.
where you're going, you are in somebody else's space. And you have to respect it as such. That way you are respected back. If I had been in that club with a nun outfit on, or they would have looked at me like I was crazy and be like, "Ma'am, are you lost? Do you need a
Right.
ride home?"
Right. How did
So
you come out? How did you come out?
exactly, yeah, I was out with my friend for their birthday, and I wanted them to enjoy themselves, and they couldn't enjoy themselves if I'm looking like I'm a bump on the law.
Right. Just
Like,
don't come.
exactly. So I'm like,
Well,
okay, you gonna show out? I'm gonna show out with you. All right, you got to be in that energy. That's how y'all bring y'all energy together. Is
yeah,
you wear your uniform. Like when you go to work, you have your team meeting. You wear your uniform. Everybody amped up. You like, I see you with your shirt. I see you with your shirt. You got your name tag. You got your name tag. And
right.
y'all ready to go to work. It's just
Exactly.
like that.
Uniform. You're uniform. You know what I'm saying? You're on one accord. Real
Yes.
quick, let's do a sound check. Will, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes. Hey, I see you finally made it in.
yes, it's great, King. Okay. So you've been listening to the conversation and everything. So can you provide us with a response to the question in reference to representation and how you represent yourself before a king or a queen?
Um, it's interesting, but I'm just so much so just presenting myself as is. It's kind of like me with this shirt on, me with this hoodie on, this shirt on, the pants. Uh, all this is exactly how I present myself. I'm gonna show you what you can see, and what I put on is who I am. That's who
I
I'm
like
going to
that.
be. So the character goes the same way as in presentation, because if I decided to put on a suit that I've gotten from, let's just say, a tuxedo rental place, that rental place is not my suit. That's their suit.
Mm,
So with me wearing that suit, um, that's not the true representation of me, as opposed to me getting a suit out of my own closet. So because if
woo,
I then bring you back to my home and you just decide to be nosy and go through my closet and don't see that suit, I just basically fooled you and you're gonna
right,
feel some type of way. As opposed to you go in my closet and you see stuff that I've actually worn. So that true representation of me is what I put on. Now, when you decide to get into my actual living quarters and space, you're gonna then see if I decided to wear something I had on yesterday, 2 days before, or whatever many days. You'll see that. That's when you're in my like personal space. Or if you or whatever the little nuances that we may think that's negative that we won't actually go outside, though that's when you become privileged. You're privileged in to see the whole 100% scope of me. But when I go out and you see me, I've basically done this right here where you can see that's a mirror. It's a mirror right there. So in that mirror, um, I've looked at myself to make sure I'm presentable, because that's very important as when you go outside. When you go outside to the public, people are that. They're the mirror.
Yep.
So however you presented yourself and however you decide to take the time to look and see how you're actually you're presenting yourself and carrying yourself in the mirror, which is why personal mirrors is that important. You have to think a lot of people have the vampire mentality. They walk past the mirror, and they have a problem, they have an issue. They don't want to see that reflection going. So um every time I'm putting something on, I'm looking in the mirror because once I've looked in that mirror, I know what to expect from you. You're gonna give me the response I've already saw. So once I see that, I already know what to expect from you. So if there's a flaw there, I then made the choice to decide to put that on and say, okay, I'll deal with that. They see that, I already know. It's not gonna ruffle my feathers, but most of the time people can't take what the mirror of the people are telling them or showing them because they refuse to look in the mirror and they decide to have that vampire effect. Well, I don't want to see myself. I don't want to see my reflection. Can't face it.
Snapped. Completely snapped with that. Yes. Cause man,
Absolutely.
that's why Michael Jackson made that song. I'm talking
Could you
to
could
the
could you have some?
man.
Could you? I wish I want Will to have some more mic trouble, and we that was worth the wait because
I know, right?
He's gonna let him have some more mic trouble. That was worth the wait. That really was. What was key was seriously about that mirror and really understanding too, like the real mirror that you need to look into, not trying to be cliche, but it is the Bible. That's where you're going to find your identity and your true reflection and your true identity. Because if you pay attention to, even when you look at the mirror, one, the image is already marred. Okay, so it's not even the true representation of who you are. Two, you're not really looking at yourself. When you look in the mirror, you're actually looking at the dominant eye. It actually goes and catches contact with the other dominant eye. So you're going from the right to right as opposed to looking directly at yourself. So you're still not seeing the reality of who you are. You're still now seeing a reimagined you as opposed to who it is God said you are. And that's why you putting on all this makeup and all this other stuff. You covering up what it is that one makes you unique and perfect in his image, make you necessary. All these things, all because of the vision issue that you have just with the mirror alone. But I totally
Hmm.
understand what it is that you're saying in reference to how you're reflecting yourself to people, and you not taking the time, like you can't even handle the fact that, hey, I came out here in this tight skirt or whatever it is, and I keep pulling it down. I knew it was tight. I keep adjusting, and then I get mad when somebody has something to say about it. It's crazy.
Right.
You, you
Barry
knew.
sound like me, man.
Look uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. I'm like, no matter what I have on, trust me, I'm going to be comfortable.
yeah.
I guess I'll let you say it, Queen Mary, because when I said they offended, I mean
Yeah.
No, no,
Always
No,
offended
because
when
I
a
mean, it
man
just look
when a
uncomfortable.
man
Like I'm
say
like, you
that
good? You good?
it's the equivalent of a dude sagging. It's come on, dude. You knew your skirt was short. Come on, man.
man.
So now we're gonna watch you fight and get attention with the thing. Come on, man.
Come on, King. We're gonna watch you fight and get attention. I
and
Right.
let me say this real quick. Both of y'all that hit on something that I've been reading. I don't know if y'all can see this. I've been
I'm
reading this book. What's his name? King Dwayne hit on something earlier, and then King Will hit on it about the mirror. And I was trying to find this passage that Dwayne was talking about that self-aware. I'm gonna find it. I may not find it tonight, but I'm come back with it next
I
Wednesday.
made you dig your book out.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back with it next Wednesday because
I'm
man,
like,
you
what did
gotta
he
hear
go?
what this man is saying here about them images, boy, about them images. It's Jay Krishnamurti, man, Jay Krishnamurti. But yeah,
yeah.
let me say this real quick. I used to do a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna say I used to. I did it the year 2013. I did a whole lot of online dating. Because I was in a situation where I was in the house a whole lot. My car wasn't acting right, and I didn't really have a job, so I just stayed in. And I got on this app, and I was just doing a whole bunch of online dating, and we would go out on dates and all that. And we talking about representation. I want to say this. I had one woman tell me she was talking about some of the dates that she had been on previously, and she said that this one guy wore a long white tee. Y'all remember back when the white tees was popping?
Yeah,
He wore
yeah.
this. She said he wore this long white tee, but not only was it dingy, but it had blood stains on there. So, and she was like, it really did something to her, and she was happy the way I came in dressed. And so that's what I want to ask y'all, ladies. Okay, if a man, if you going out on a blind date with a man and he got them blood wounds on the white tee, or men, if y'all going out on a blind date, or not even a blind date, but your first date with a lady and they are not dressed properly, are will you allow them a second date? I really want to hear this.
Nah, nah. Sorry, no. That's a big no for me. Cause it's like you knew like, and then a lot of times, like, especially if you're planning a date and the first date, both of you have already agreed on where you're going, because you don't want the place you're going to be an issue. So both of you already know where you're going. So you already know what to expect, like, and to dress with that expectation of like the place. Like if you go into the movies, like, you wear something that's kind of warmer because it tend to be cold, so you gotta have a jacket with you. If you're going outside somewhere, you want to be, for the climate of the day, you check the weather. Like, cause come on now, if you date, you already excited, like, oh, I got a date. So you already planning ahead, all of that stuff. And you mean this was your plan ahead?
This is your planet.
It even get better. She said that he caught the bus to the restaurant, so I had to
So
hop
he
on
got in a
her.
fight on the way.
I was like, why you? I was like, why you didn't give him a ride? I'm like, come on, my man out here catching the bus. Why you
That's
didn't
not
give him a ride?
the bus ain't an issue. And I totally do. I agree with you, Doc Ock. Like we have made a plan. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna ask like, "What's up? What's happening?" I value people. Like honestly, I do. And so we may have to make an adjustment. Maybe we're not going to this restaurant if you're not, you know, presentable. Maybe we need to just go. I don't know, picnic, McDonald's around the corner. I don't want to waste the opportunity because I don't want to say okay just because on the outside it ain't right. So, I mean, something could have happened. So I'll take in everything, like all of my discernment in that moment, and kind of like feel my way as to what to do because I don't want to offend and I don't want to miss an opportunity just because the
So
content
you'll
and
get up and leave the restaurant?
if he came in,
Yeah, because
if
that's
we're
Yeah,
what I'm
you
in,
saying.
sit. Yeah, you
They
sitting
both
there
met.
waiting
They
like
both
you
met at the
already.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they met at the restaurant, and
but
she
we
said
just
he
but we
came
didn't
in
have
with the blood wounds.
okay, but we haven't had a seat or anything, right?
She was already sitting down waiting on him.
Oh well, no, then we have to. No, we're gonna have to sit down and eat. We're gonna have to sit
Okay.
down and eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
First date is already in the bag, but the second one is a
Yeah.
no. That's a no for
Second
me.
talking. Second date, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about again all of these things. I'm not shying away from nothing
Okay.
that happened on date one, so we're gonna talk about
But that's
that.
good. You give him a chance though.
Yeah, I give him a chance.
Okay. Okay. King Dwayne, that live you did
Uh,
last night, boy.
I'm
yeah, it was
curious.
Oops,
interesting,
another one.
very interesting. But it was
I got
good,
to go
man.
back and watch
Because,
that. That boy was going in.
but but I agree a lot with the queen host here because yeah, I think that there would be a possibility for a second based off what happens on the first.
Yeah.
If like the situation that you explained, yeah, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna eat. I'm gonna still represent myself, who I am. It goes back to what Will was saying. I've been saying that and saying that and saying that, and I've been hearing that and hearing that from some great men over my lifetime. And Will is one of those people. You know what I'm saying? Like Will was that brother, you know what I'm saying? That like really, really we had a lot of conversations. Too much to, you know what I'm saying, put at this moment right now. But when it comes down to that whole mirror thing, man, that's the truth, man. Absolutely the truth. And so you look at that person, you sit down, you have some real serious conversations with individuals. You know, I had a woman laughing one time because I told her, I said, these are interviews and you gotta earn a second one. You gotta earn a third. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold back what I'm asking you. I'm just not. Because a lot of people bring damage from relationships. The fact of the matter is, even all of us that's right here, right now, we've all had some damage from relationships. That's one thing you cannot avoid. You cannot avoid it. So you get an opportunity going back to the whole mirror thing Will was talking about. to actually see all that stuff when you're sitting with this four person and you're talking to them and you're picking their brain, they're picking your brain. You have an opportunity to see where people's mind and their headspace is. And based off of what we talk about and how we talk, that's what it was going to justify a second date. If it's just wild, 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 because I've had a woman that tried her best to sabotage a date, and then I didn't give her a second one, but she was like, she somewhere along the line, she realized she messed up, and she was talking to me and calling me every day. This had to been like way back when I was working with Will at Walmart, like in our 20s, man. Like, but she knew she messed up. But I had picked up that she was purposely trying to sabotage because she
Mm.
was not ready for the guy that I was. And she ended up confessing all of that. But she had messed it up too bad for me to give her another chance.
Oh
I
wow.
don't want to go too deep, but you
Mm,
said sabotage. Can
that's
you explain what
crazy.
you mean?
Mm.
A lot of times when we're not ready, like what Will was talking about the whole mirror thing, sometimes that vampire effect makes a lot of women self sabotage good situations,
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
good
got you, got
situations
you.
that they could be in.
Okay, okay.
And I've said it more times than not because we like to talk about men and how we know they're not mature. I've always said for years the number one way that you find out that a woman is not really mature is she's going to self sabotage because she is not ready to step up and stop having
Mm.
fun. And a real king is going to require you to come to the table, not
Oh,
talking
most
about your
definitely.
dreams, not talking about what you want.
Yeah.
You're going to come telling him what you have to offer to him
Teach him.
because you're going to get on his program, point
Teach
blank.
him.
And the ones
Teach.
that are afraid of that, they self sabotage.
Teach.
Mhm. I got a story to tell you after Brother Will speak.
Oh man, I don't know which story to share.
Uh-oh, you didn't
um,
read it?
well, I could share a bunch of stories, just like Anthony said. To answer the question, based on how I operate, I'm not going to judge that simply because at this point in my life, I'll talk to you for 2, 3 months possibly before I actually go out with you because I learned something a long time ago. Um, I was talking to this woman who was from California. Anthony actually knows. And we had a long distance relationship. And what I learned from that is the more you communicate over the phone, the more authentic you have to be. So you can't really hide who you are. You can hide your appearance, but you can't hide who you are. You have to really become creative and actually keeping a long distance relationship like that, especially if you're not constantly traveling. So before I actually go out with someone, I'm going to actually take the time to have constant conversation with them. And that constant conversation is going to tell me a lot of things about them. And if this person has what you say, so for instance, so if it was a woman, she had blood on her. I'm probably not going on that first one. I'm probably not going to do like I did with my ex-wife. Like my ex-wife, I think that was the first time on for a first outing together that she didn't ride with me. So that experience also made me really hunker down on the whole at least 2 months. 2 months for me is the bare minimum before I go out. And in that process, me and her probably talked maybe a month. And she wanted to go out, so we went to Olive Garden. She said, "Yeah, let's meet at Olive Garden." Well, when I got to Olive Garden, there was two females sitting there. There was her sitting there and another female sitting there. So it like caught me totally off guard. So she explained it afterwards that because even though we were talking, she had her experiences that guys just possibly do something bogus. So she wanted her security there. And she begged and begged and begged and begged for me to go out with her again. And eventually I obliged. But for the most part, I'm not doing it. If I don't talk to you for at least 2 months, I'm not going to go out with you because You're gonna show me your heart. You're gonna show me your intentions. It's gonna come out. It can't help but to come out. So in an instance like that, if I'm picking her up and I see that, in which I'm paying attention to everything, Dwayne know that too. I, I'm looking at everything. I'm paying attention to everything. If I see that and I'm picking you up, I'll tell you, I'm gonna let you know. No, you got blood on you. No, that's dirty. No, go change. It's just best for you to change because I don't want you to have a bad performance. And you're not performing for me, you're performing for everybody else. So if I'm out here looking good and you look like you have stuff that's on you, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna talk about you. They're gonna more likely look at me and be like, okay, he looked good, but where he get her from the trash? Where he get her from the gutter or whatever? So and in this day and age, that's automatic for me because the minute you walk out your door, the camera phones is subject to be going. So that's as a woman, women are more fragile than we are. And women will be more catty too. So if another woman sees that, she's automatically gonna want to throw her hat in the ring. I told Dwayne this story just the other day about. No, actually, I told my brother this story, my other brother this story yesterday when I first met my ex-wife. All of the females that were sitting at that table because I met them. I came up to uh, 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 Steak and Shake, and this was in Maryville, Indiana. And they, when they saw me come in, they had no idea I was showing up for her. She told them I was coming. Me and her was talking about me coming. She didn't tell them. So they instantly was asking me. She didn't say a word. They asking me, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And blah blah blah. Who you here to see? So I made mention I was there to see her, and they asked me where I was from. I told them I was from Gary. And at that moment, because I made sure I came in presentable, nice, and I smelled nice, they looked at her, looked at me, and instinct was like, "You from Gary?" I ain't never seen nobody looking from Gary the way you do, the way you smell. And it was a few of them really gauging her and gauging me to see if they could actually throw their ring in the hat. So it's for me, it's very important that I make sure if you're with me, I'm making sure you're on point more than I'm on point. Simply because I already know I'm gonna be on point. But I'd rather you be more on point than I'm on point because from my experiences, I've seen women literally try to throw their hat in the ring and you're out with the woman you're with. So it's if these women are not built the same as they were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, we saw the whole August and Jada thing, and I mean, social media had me like blown at how many women wanted to be in Jada's shoes.
Entanglement.
So it's yeah, I'm different.
Man, let me tell you this story. I went on this date one time to Denny's. It was a blind date. Went on this date to Denny's. This ain't no this no this lady. She was dressed nice, but for some reason she got this big thing about leaving a tip. Okay, I do leave tips, but this particular day I didn't have that much cash on me. I think I had like $5 bill, and I had some change, some quarters, nickels, dimes, and maybe pennies. We just talking, having a good time. So when the bill come, I pay with my card, and I signed it, signed everything, and so I just put some money down. I put the 5 on the table. Somehow this girl looks at the ticket. So I'm like, hey, why you looking at that ticket? I'm already looking at her like, why are you looking at this ticket? You need to be looking at me. I am the ticket. Okay. Don't look at that ticket. Look at me. So she talking about, well, it's supposed to be at what 15% or something. The tip is supposed to be 15% or 20% of the bill. I said, okay. I said, well, you know that the service wasn't that good tonight either. That's a whole nother story. Service was good. I'm like, but I'll still go ahead and give you a tip, even though you gave me bad service. I'm gonna still going to tip you tonight. So she just kept going on and on about it. I said, you know what? How about this? I got some quarters, nickels, and dime. Maybe that'll add up to that 20%. So we at this point, we standing up, getting ready to walk off. I put the quarters, nickels, and dimes on the table. And I was like, I got a smart mouth sometimes. I was like, yeah, count how much that gonna be. I was like, how you gonna figure out how much that is? She's like, all I gotta do is just count it. This lady, she sat there and counted every nickel, penny, dime that I
No.
did. Me being who I am, and this being a platform where curse words is not allowed, I said some strange things at that table. And then I walked out the door, and she never ever called me back. Well, she called me back. I never called her back ever again.
Hmm.
That was that story.
Whew. Oh, Shannon had a real good point. She could have gave the tip if you
Yeah,
paid the bill. She was so
I
concerned about the tip. Go ahead, reach in your coin purse,
Absolute
get the cash
facts.
out.
feel it
Because I
is.
definitely do that. If
Yeah,
who
me
I'm on the date with, they don't have any cash to leave the tip, I'm like, that's fine. I'll leave the
too.
tip.
Right. Take care of that. Like
I
you
Oh,
sat there
but
and
but
watched her
also
count
I
every
don't go
dime
out
too.
broke either. I'm
know,
not on a date broke.
right. Why would you? It doesn't
Because you're
make
not
any
supposed to be dating if you're broke. You're supposed to be getting a
sense.
job or finding a way to not be broke first, and then
Listen,
you date.
again, come to give. Come to give. Your obligation isn't out the window because you're on a date, or excuse me, you're courting with a man because another party is present. Doesn't negate your obligation. You still
Right.
Exactly.
got to eat, right? Like, and then again, giving. Like I'm like, man, you help me. Like I look at purpose, like for women, and I know I don't, I guess to people who don't want to follow, it sounds barbaric, it sounds whatever it is that you want to call it. However, it is order. And so it's like, dude, like we were recreated, we were created for them to do what? Help. Help what? Meet. Meet what? These bills, these goals, these obligations. I don't
Right.
understand. What are you missing?
Exactly.
What you missing? Because now you've been told to be a boss. You've been told to be a career woman.
But that is being a boss, having your own money.
Listen,
Come on, make it make sense.
managing his stuff is being a boss. That's a daycare. That's a
Exactly.
laundry company. That's a dining hall. You got all
If
this stuff.
this man gets
What?
laid up in the hospital, boss
Yeah,
is he shouldn't have to worry about nothing but
one
getting better.
thing. Not one thing.
That's it. If you
One.
can't handle everything that y'all got going on by yourself, you are not a boss.
Listen, no, you're not.
Period.
Go sit down. Have a seat. I mean, I want to even like ask, are you woman? I need to do a check because something's not right here. Again, we came with purpose. And again, what is our purpose? To help. Help what?
Right.
Me. Help me what? These bills, these his goals, his bills. You're here for him, queen. Ain't
That's
nothing
right.
wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I
Mhm.
like
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna
I
write that
personally
book.
like I personally like what somebody posted. They on Facebook. They say if I ask them out, the bill is on me. Females are too entitled. Like
Boom. That's
Who
Shannon.
wrote? Yeah, who
That's
wrote that?
Shannon. That's Queen
man,
Shannon. That's
listen,
Queen
listen.
Shannon.
That's a queen right there. That's somebody
Yeah,
who clearly know what it
Oh,
is
let me
to
see.
be there for the man because it goes back to what Will was saying earlier. I know for a fact, when he talk about his wife chasing him and stuff like that, that was, it's like we don't understand that, yeah, the woman is the prize, but the man is the catch. The
Mm-hmm.
catch. So you got to do everything because what Will said was on point. I didn't want to let that slide by. Notice he said, while those women were appraising him, because her friends going to praise, but he addressed and made it clear, I'm here for her. But that didn't stop them from appraising. That didn't stop them from looking. That didn't stop them from gauging. Because at the worst case scenario, if it's 4 to 1 man,
yeah,
if 1 out of 4 women are going to get married in a lifetime, are you willing to knock that kneecap out in the fight? You see when they throw the bouquet, when they throw the bouquet at
Seriously,
the women, all
seriously.
the women fight again. They ain't waiting for nobody because that's how it's supposed to
right.
be out there. You're supposed to go after that man and let him know what you got to offer to him so he'll propose to you, so that
Yeah,
he'll share his plan with you. It's the same way we go out to aggressively and assertively looking for a job. We chase these companies.
yeah,
So why did the women not think that they could date us? Chase, yes, if you want to get to know me, take me out. I'm here.
yeah.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes.
Oh yes.
And I'm a
Yes.
cheap date too. I'm a cheap date because I don't eat a lot of the food that's on the menu anyway. So there you go, ladies. And then you ain't gonna cost you number
But it but
$5.
it shouldn't matter. Like my whole thing is when I was dating or going out to eat and stuff, if I like Shannon said, if I offered, I was always prepared to pay for everything. You want snacks? Get you some snacks. You want an extra a
You not
extra
dating
thing
right
of
now?
cheese? No.
Are you in a
But
relationship?
a little bit, not
Doc.
quite, a
Look
little
at
bit.
Doc. Look at Doc,
And that,
y'all.
Just say you got friends,
Look
you
at
gotta
Doc.
Hey, he understands. I already told him my
appetizing.
default is single, so don't get comfortable and think like, oh, I got
everybody
no,
do.
you ain't got nothing. No, no,
Oh,
no.
look who
Until
calling the
until
shots.
until it's
Look
a
who
ring
calling the
on this
shots,
finger
y'all.
and I have your last name. Uh, guess what? Oh yeah. What you mean? Where am I at? I'm single. What are you talking about?
Look who calling the shots, y'all.
Hey, but that's how it is. When you're single,
You
that's how
think
it
of
is.
it.
And then
You
once
don't
you
have a
get married, then everything is handed over to him. Go ahead, handle your function, King. But
So you're
until then,
you're making sure the intention is
oh
you're
yeah,
making it known
oh yeah,
what the intention is.
absolutely, up yeah, up
That's what
front
a
from
lot of
jump.
women have to do out the gate, because if you don't make your intentions clear, you'll be with somebody 5 years and they just think it's okay because we're going back to representing.
Mhm.
You presented that. You said it was okay. You didn't respect yourself enough, and you made it okay to date you for 5, 10 years, be
Exactly,
a baby mama, all that
and not
stuff.
even date,
And
shacking up, y'all living together, got bills and
fact,
all this other stuff together.
fact,
People done bought
because
houses, ain't even
yes, because
married. I'm
people
like,
are less
how? Why would you
scared.
do that?
People are less afraid. They are less afraid. And it's just kids. Oh, we just live. They're less afraid of that than
Yeah.
actually. They're more
Committing,
afraid of. They're more afraid of being
committing.
married. That's crazy.
Committing
Wait,
because
you
they
say
have
they
to
more afraid of being married?
commit. They
You
have
say
to
they
Yeah.
more afraid of
come
being married?
Oh,
together.
you're too young
You
to
have
get
to
married.
give up
You're
that
too
will.
young. It's too serious.
You have
That's a
to give
serious
up that
thing.
will.
Well, pushing out them babies is serious too.
It
You
is.
Right.
about to inflict. You
Pushing out
about
them
to
babies.
inflict a whole individual.
Listen.
You about
And
to
Paying
make
pushing
bills
out
and
somebody.
and not
paying a
having
mortgage. Paying a
order.
mortgage
Yeah.
is right. Come on now.
Yeah, for real. Like order is important. So not so pushing out babies and being a single parent, all of that, that's not no joke either. So why would you
Exactly.
put yourself in a position for that? Like you knew. And then as we were talking on the Rock Youth show, you still thinking about this being a decision about you. And you're not even cognizant of the fact that your decisions and the parents' decisions infect and affect your children generationally,
Come
like
on
to a
now.
point
Yep.
can hold them up, their life up for a minute. They got to take out time to get over their childhood, all because of the decisions that you didn't think about. You didn't think or cared enough about. So okay, how does this domino effect really work? All of this stuff, like we were talking earlier about intent. You should be courting with intent. You
Who
know,
is Lala 28? Shout
I'm
out to
not.
Lala 28.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been posting them, but I'm not sure who it is.
Oh, they said, yeah, they
Hmm.
said they love how these ladies keeping it real. Shout out to them.
Yes.
I want to ask the ladies, since we on the
Hey, you got to
ladies, let
make
me
it
ask the
make sense.
ladies, have y'all ever dated a man that did not wash his behind?
Mm-mm.
I know I got to ask you this because this is really
You can smell
serious.
that though. You
This
can
is
smell that.
serious.
No.
Okay, okay, we won't say behind, but this is
That's not.
something that women have told me that they've dealt with men. Men did not wash their genital area well,
I
and
thought you was gonna say
especially
No, yeah, it's both.
especially
No,
no,
it's both. He's
yes.
referring to both because I've
Oh,
heard plenty of women say
yeah,
this
because the
foolishness, and I
hands,
don't
yeah,
understand
that's definitely
how in
been
the
I've
world
seen
this
that.
The
manifests.
what? Say it again.
I said I've heard plenty of women say this foolishness, and I don't understand how in the world. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand that they having a soul moment where old boy knocking you outside of your body and you can't comprehend the fact that you smell. Uh, that's a problem. That's
Mm,
a serious problem. There's
really
no
is.
way in the world that you cannot smell yourself. There's no way in the world that you take your underwear off and you don't see something. Because if you smell and trust and believe there's
Other
something there.
person, right?
I don't care what you take. And,
Where there's
and
smoke, there's fire.
this is what I used to tell my big brother because we had these conversations with we had a few friends that would come over his house, and me and him would really like get into it because me and him like cleaning. You know what I'm talking about? Why you used to live next door to. So like we had these conversations like, nah, bro, there's no way in the world you around here trying to get a woman. You out here looking like Debo, and you ain't even got Debo hands. So
Right.
how in the world you trying to do this? No, 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 no. That I'm sorry. When we had this conversation, this topic comes up. It's like really offensive to me because I had this conversation with my 8-year-old, and I tell him every single day he get up, bruh, you want a woman? I, Me personally, I shouldn't smell you. So if I smell you, she's not gonna want to smell you.
Right.
Right.
So no, go take your behind right back in the shower, clean. I don't care how long it's gonna take you. Me, see, I'm a check. I check my son. So if you supposed to be my guy or my homie or whatever, and you're in my circle, and I smell you, I'm telling you because that's just like flat out unacceptable, completely unacceptable. And to like, look, our women are gonna go along with what we do, and that will come out in a woman who has not been taught well. She's gonna tolerate that foolishness
Hmm.
because she hasn't been taught well.
Yeah.
Chances are she may have some hygiene issues herself.
Okay.
That's what I've been
First
trying
thing
to
I
Because
figure
look
out.
at
That's what I've been trying
I
to
don't care
figure
who
out.
you are, man or woman. First thing I'm looking at is your feet, because my grandmother used to say you can tell a lot of person about a person about their feet. If they feet don't look good, they're telling you firsthand that they're lazy because they don't care nothing about going down there and cleaning their feet.
Yeah.
So if your feet nasty, chances are your behind nasty.
Yeah.
And if
and
you're
you can't
behind
even see
nasty,
that.
that means you subject to do any and everything. When it comes to hygiene for me is the equivalent for a liar.
I
Because
like
because
Like I
basically
can't
you
trust you
lie to
anything.
yourself the saying, hey, I'll stay. No, 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 no.
yeah. I feel you on that, especially with like not trying to change the subject, but like a liar issue like that. I feel you on that. I felt that when you said that because they just so severe for me when it comes to just being authentic and lying. Like, tell me why. Like, just tell me why. Like, I will never understand the lie. So I totally understand what you're saying in reference to. I don't understand the hygiene. Like,
Yeah,
you
I had
know,
to get my knee straight on that. She was like 14 or 15 at the time, and she was, telling lies and stuff. I had to check her real quick. I was like, oh no, we ain't about to do this and that. She good now. But yeah, the hygiene. The thing is, y'all won't believe some of the stuff that people write me saying some of this stuff. A lot of it I tried to ignore, but I was like, all right, man, let me deal with this. So the lady, she was telling me, she was like, she having problems with her man. She said, cause when she get ready to perform certain acts, she said that it's nasty and smelly down there. And I was like, well, I was like, do he shower? She talking about some, well, every time I come over there, he just beat and got through playing ball. I was like, well, do he shower?
Girl.
Do he shower though? That's what I want to know. Do he shower? I'm like, because he needs to clean up down there. And then especially if he's a man that's uncircumcised, you really got to clean because you can get an infection and then you might get it chopped off. Okay. So I'm just keeping it real. If you uncircumcised, you really got to clean yourself down there.
Shannon said,
Yeah,
"No,
pretty
play, put a
much.
handle on that."
Pretty much.
Seriously.
I don't know if Anthony remember when we went down. Remember you tell that story about we went down to private field and them in the blizzard. When we went down there, it was an apostle by the name of Apostle Pine. He's dead now, and he said he kept putting it off. God kept telling him to get circumcised. He wasn't circumcised, so he somehow or another he went out and he was in he was pig farmer, so he went out in the field and he was out there for a long time that day. And he was out there practically all day. He was like he was so tired that he just came in and laid down. Well, unfortunately, because he didn't clean himself and all, somehow or another he ended up with infection And in him getting the infection, he was forced to be circumcised, and it's like
Yeah,
the worst experience
I'm sure it
ever.
was even more painful because that's a painful
absolutely.
procedure anyway, especially if you don't do it when you don't remember it. But yeah, and then add an infection on top of that. That's yeah.
Absolutely. And
We
ladies, we gonna wrap this up. But ladies, your day coming next week because some of the stuff I done ran into with these women during that time of the month, you ain't gonna believe what I done
oh
ran
Lord,
into.
oh
I'm trying to tell you.
yeah, we got to get into that.
Oh,
But
for real.
also with the male
Woo!
hygiene, if it's smelly down there, that's bacteria. So if you're having sex with a man who is smelly down there, even if you're not putting your face down there, all of that bacteria is going right up inside your vagina. And guess what? That
Exactly.
pH balance is gonna be off, like way
You're gonna do
left
a
field.
transform.
Like
Put Transformers arm. This take that whole
robots
piece
in
to another
disguise.
level.
Yes, straight like that.
Look,
So,
Y'all giving a class,
for
boy.
your personal safety, you should not be having sex with a man who is not clean in that area because it can mess you up,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
don't do it.
look
Just
here.
don't.
I tell people if you don't have a problem with asking for money, you shouldn't have a problem with telling somebody they stink or whatever else is a problem with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really that simple.
Facts.
I
Yeah.
mean, you
Again,
can
this is
literally ask somebody for money.
Shannon.
Shannon crazy.
real.
Flaming
And it's
Hey,
I,
She talking about the
hey,
feet.
Shannon hilarious.
it's
Shannon is hilarious.
mastering singleness. It's definitely mastering singleness, and it's
Talking
going
about
back
the yeast
to
king.
foundation of
that's what
who
this is
you
all
are
about.
for real. And this is about friendship. So if this is your friend, why wouldn't you tell your friend the truth?
Yep.
If this is your friend and you're lying to your friend, then
Hmm.
you are a hater. You are a true to life hater. It's you. You should be honest with your friend. And this is why even in marriage, the friendship had never comes off. It never changes. And
Yeah.
this is why this love is the love that stands the test of time, that's greater than any love. What love is this? That friendship, yo.
Yeah.
Like that's the one. And if you can study the art of and master the art of friendship, master the art of singleness, you got it. You got it.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey,
You
let's
can't
go
you can't
around.
be something you ain't mastered.
Ooh,
See?
ooh,
Or it's gonna
ooh.
master you. If you ain't mastered it, it's gonna master you.
Shannon killing the comment.
It is
Hold on. Wait, let me say this. Hold on, let me say this. You should be having sex if you willing to have sex with somebody that's staying. All right, I
Oh,
gotta say this. I gotta say this, and
hey.
then we gonna wrap this thing up.
Oh.
Will, Will, Kingdom come, Will. Yeast is king. Oh wow.
See,
Hey,
and with that on the
Wow.
screen, it shall rise. So
And
if
then
you
you
don't
see
do
the
nothing
little
about it,
dude in the
that
corner
smell
kicking
gonna
the
That's
rise
right.
butt.
The
to you.
yeast,
Hey,
the yeast is rising. It's rising.
I
But hold
cannot.
on.
Oh
I got to get on Shannon. I got to get on Shannon. Okay. When I was young, probably about in my 20s, okay. And this is why I don't really have like many male friends because I don't believe in cornball behavior. So
yeah.
this one of the homies, he was telling me about some we was in college, he was telling me about some woman that he, had did his thing with, and then he was bragging, was like, yeah. And it was that time of the month too. I had ketchup on my hot dog. I said, "Oh no, no, and that's what I'm talking about. Y'all women, y'all need to stop that for real. If that's your time of the month, let them 7 days just
hey,
go. Let
you,
them 7 days
It
go
takes
now.
two to tangle with ketchup. It takes two to tangle with
hey,
ketchup, mustard, relish, and anything
Man,
else.
I was
That is
like, man, you did
double.
what? I was
Them
like,
ain't
I ain't
nah,
even got nothing
hey,
over here to adjust. I'm just
I
adjusting.
can't kick
Oh,
it with you. That's cornball behavior. I can't be around you, bro. I can't be. If you
hey,
willing to
me,
do that,
hey,
that mean you probably put your mouth on there too. Yeah, I
oh,
did.
listen, me and Will got a saying. You should have
Oh
told him
God.
I need you out my church.
What?
I need you. I need you out my church. That hey,
That's what I'm talking about.
we talk about brothers holding each other accountable. That's a saying
Yeah.
between me and Will. I need you out the church.
Man, I bounced. I was
Get
like,
out
yeah,
of
I
here.
can't hang out with you, bro. I
Get up
can't
and
hang
out of
out
here,
with you,
man.
bro.
Hey,
Oh, this is
hey, she
funny.
said she's like, I'm not here for him.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to get to it. I'm trying to get to it.
All
Yes.
right. I'm done. I'm gonna turn it over to let y'all do y'all final wrap up. But yeah, I couldn't kick it with homie no more. Then he wanted to be like, man, why you don't come around no more? Cause you participate in cornball behavior.
Cornball behavior.
No,
I
that ain't
don't do
cornball
cornball
behavior. What you
behavior. I don't
said,
do
bro.
that.
Stop
That
Will,
ain't
it.
corn.
Will,
Will,
Will.
That ain't
Hey,
cornball
Stop
behavior.
it,
That
man.
man over there talking about Bloody Marys and taking shots.
who was
Bloody
that?
Mary.
Karen Thomas said he ran a red light.
Bloody Mary taking
Somebody said
shots.
me in a red light, girl. I'm hollering. I can't
Red
take
light district.
I'm done. I'm done.
red light district. What?
Man.
No, that
Red
was
light,
red light,
red
green
light
light. We
special.
played as kid. He took it over into adulthood. He kept
What
playing. He
what you
Woo!
kept
say,
saying,
Dwayne?
"Go."
Woo!
Got that red light special.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wee.
He thought it was TLC in there. He thought it was TLC in
Right.
there.
Like I hope you gargle with some
Oh, and
Listerine
I heard
afterwards.
that's not what they was talking about. They meant the light bulb. They meant the light bulb, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Ready to
That's
go.
hilarious.
You knew he was one of them ones that didn't look in the mirror. Now he was a true vampire, literally.
Hey, you got some true blood suckers out there, bro. Hey,
Woo.
Man, I had to get
Yikes.
away from him. Like, oh
Woo.
no.
Okay.
man, that's crazy.
It's a struggle. It's a
Facts.
full length struggle.
Facts.
Woo.
Like, some of the stuff I didn't heard. I'm telling you.
Man.
Oh
Woo.
wow. Oh wow.
All right,
Funny.
let us say, let's hear from brother Will. And Will, I know you and I know your parents, Will. Y'all used to come to my church a lot.
That's what's up. What? Mastering singleness? Is that what you want me to say?
Final thoughts as we wrap up.
Final thoughts. Uh, since this is basically mastering singleness. Um, in order to be a master, you have to pretty much understand that you are not a ruler. So if you cannot master your singleness, you're not master. You're looking at the aspect of trying to rule yourself, and it's almost going to be ultimately impossible to rule yourself. You're going to constantly have issues after issues, and you're going to constantly be saying, "I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying," and you're always falling short. Being a master is not about being a ruler at all. Um, Case in point, since some of this that we talk about is derived in correlation to the scriptures. They asked Jesus, did he come to rule? And he specifically told them that he did not come to rule. Yet and still, they called him master. And we find out and later in the scriptures that he tells his disciples that he came to serve. So when you're trying to master your singleness, you have to serve yourself. It's not about ruling yourself, it's about serving yourself. Because in the midst of serving, you're learning. And in the midst of serving, you're teaching. You're doing two things at the same time. So when you're doing that, as Jesus did, because even when he constantly kept telling them that he was not coming to establish that earthly kingdom to become ruler and set everything right like they hoped, they continuously called him master. Even the Pharisees called him a master prophet and a master teacher, his own enemies. So
Mm-hmm.
in order to fully grasp where you're going, what you're trying to do, you have to serve yourself. You can't if you can't serve yourself, you can't serve anybody else. How do you expect to actually be able to serve anyone else? If you don't get in the kitchen and opt to finally cook, how are you going to actually make a meal that's conducive for you? You have to actually learn and eat your own food to know what ingredients works with what. And then when you decide to serve it to someone else, they're going to give you the feedback. Everything you do, you have to approach it from the mind of you're serving. So if you're not serving yourself, you can't serve anyone else efficiently at all. So When we speak on this thing as it pertains to the topic, I'm pulling it up real quick. How do you represent you and to others? If you don't get up and serve yourself to fix yourself, fix your character. Or my grandma used to say, "Fix your face." Usually that was when you were in trouble. But if you don't fix anything about you, you've served yourself an injustice. And now you're thinking that you can go and get anyone and anybody and expect that relationship to work. It's not. It's not gonna work at all. It's gonna last for a season, and once that season is over with, it's gonna be like the fig tree. Didn't produce any fruit. You looked the part, but you weren't the part. And that is where a whole nother aspect of singleness comes in as being the fig tree. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as yourself, you're cursing yourself. And in a matter of time, God's going to pretty much tell you, okay, wither and die. I've gave you enough time to get yourself right. You ain't get yourself right. There's no longer a use for you. So that pretty much there is the ultimate. But you can tell individuals are not serving themselves is that they're constantly asking, how come I can't find it? That individual is trying to rule themselves, in which they're trying to rule their situation. They're not actually out here to serve. Because I find this interesting. um Out of all my years, I've run across one woman who, for the first time in my actual life, I've never that I didn't have an actual 1 ounce of a sexual conversation. Everything else was like an, it's pretty much unbelievable. Like, this is really happening. And the nature of a conversation that we have between each other, it's in a serving manner. So as a man who does desire to lead, it makes everything else that I actually would want to do, that I probably wouldn't do, want to do. Simply because I had to get to my own self to a place to where I can freely serve myself without any any thought or any second thought of okay, there's some kind of motive that I need to be do behind it. No, there's nothing in anything I do that I have a motive for, because it's all from the premise of doing what God wants me to do, doing having peace and understanding and clarity that whatever it is in this life that I'm working towards, and with the vision that God's given me, is that I'm doing it to the fullest of my capability as well as what He's given me. So previously, before in my life, it was all about, okay, God gave me this vision and I'm gonna do it at all costs. So if you try to step on my vision, I'm coming for your neck. I don't think that way anymore, because I was at that point in my life, I was trying to rule the situation. I had a stranglehold on the situation, or not just the situation, but everything that was around my life. I had a stranglehold on it because I was trying to rule it, because it was, God gave me this passion, God gave me this love for this, and I have this, and this, and I need to do everything that is to make this happen. But in reality, the minute it became, okay, let me just serve myself first and serve everyone else, that everything just starts coming into play. Things that I wanted to happen, I wouldn't even think in the past that I wanted to happen, was just falling at my doorstep, falling in front of me, like, wow, wait a minute, you do this or you do that? Oh, wow, this is crazy. Like, there was
Mhm.
no effort in any of it coming to me. So the more you serve yourself, the better things go. It's just it just falls into play. And most of the time, we're just pretty much trying to rule our surroundings. We're all when we come to this world, most of us are all little dictators. You know, we're when you're born, you're selfish. I mean, it's just flat out. When you see it with a kid, you get all attention, and you're not even thinking. You don't even have a realization that you're pretty much selfish. I mean, when we had kids, we saw it. We had to tell our kid to share with another kid when a kid wanted something, and they didn't understand why they have to share. So in that whole servant mentality, there is no selfishness in it. And you have to lose that. And that's the only way you can actually become a master of self as well as your singleness. And it does away with all of the rulership. And that aspect of it really needs to be taught heavily, because the clash that we have between man and woman is women understand, and they know, they all know, we all know, just that at some point submission needs to happen, or should happen. And be using that word master, it automatically gets equated to, I'm not finna bow down to you, when the in that aspect of it, master has nothing to do with that. Because once you get into the marriage role, both man and woman can become masters. It's masters at what that is that you can teach or bring to the other individual. As I referenced with Jesus and the whole teaching aspect, it's what you bring to the other individual to make them become better at it, is what they do. As the apostles, he taught them. They became better, in which Jesus turned around and he says, greater work shall you do. So anytime you're mastering yourself, whoever's around you should become greater than what it is that you are. But men, a lot of times men think that, but they don't know how to actually relay that to their woman, that's because they're in the ruling state. You can't take a woman by force. A woman won't submit with you having that master mentality. Oh, excuse me, that ruler mentality. It just doesn't work. So the biggest thing I've come to know is that we have to serve ourselves, and if we're not serving ourselves, we're not doing nothing of greatness.
All right
Snap!
now.
I almost fell off the ball. Snap
You been
again.
sitting on the ball
You
the
know
whole
I sit
time?
on my exercise ball.
Yes.
Okay, she keeping that cord tight. Maybe I might need to do that. Okay, I'm about to keep the cord tight. All right. All right. Let me see who we got next. Doc Ock.
Yes. King Will came through with the with the truth and nothing but the truth. Cause like I would definitely say that people get caught up in words and semantics, and really, those conversations need to be had so you both can be on the same page. Because if you reading in this book and they in a whole nother book and y'all not nowhere in the same vicinity, none of it is going to make sense. Both of you will be unhappy. And then if you're not even enjoying the story that you read in anyway, which is yourself, how are you gonna come together and share that story with somebody else? If you don't even like the story, you're not gonna want to share that with somebody else. So, if you don't like the story, change the book. So, don't be too caught up in yourself to not, at least see what else is out there. And a lot of times that fear of transformation, that fear of change, that fear of the unknown keeps people in those same cycles, finding those same type of people, finding those same situations that put them, heartbroken, lonely, whatever the unsavory situation is that you're experiencing with your love life, with your friendships, with your interactions with people. The source is not thinking outside of the box, outside of yourself. Like, because if you're trying to build yourself up, then what you need, or what you're trying to achieve, is not, you're not already going to be in possession of it. So you're going to be seeking it. Like our queen, our queen's topic was seek him. If you are seeking him, you're seeking something greater, and then you will become greater. So if you're constantly in that motion towards becoming greater, then you're not going to feel stagnant. Because a lot of times that stagnant feeling makes you feel trapped. And then when you feel trapped, you don't know what to do. And like they say, when you corner a cat, then the claws come out. So now you're combative, you're not receptive, you're not serving yourself. So you're entering the situation with an empty cup, and you're in this lack mentality. You feel, slighted. You want to hold on to anything that comes your way. So you're not even sharing with the person that you said that you would share with. Like, once you get friends, like when you have your friend and y'all go to the candy store and you got $5, they got one, guess what? Y'all got $6, right? And that's what that companionship is about. It's about the sharing. It's about understanding that I'm here for you and you're here for me. And because I'm whole within myself, I'm not feeling like I'm giving up $5. I'm gaining a friendship. Like like you can't value things over the friendship. Otherwise the friendship isn't worth anything. And like Mary was saying, mastering that friendship is key. And being truthful and honest within it, and being respectful. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, you smell like, the dog that drug you like, you don't have to do all of that. Just be like, when was the last time you showered? You might want to, freshen up or something. So it's slicker ways to say it. And if they be like, oh no, I'm good, they be like, no, you're not good. I smell you. It's okay though. I still love you. Just go ahead and wash. The good Dove is on the thing. I'll get you a rag. You do want me to put on some, set a ambiance, and you want me to light some candles. I'll run you your bath water. Like, you can even just make it like you trying to pamper them to
Yeah,
get them to
you
wash
wash him down
themselves.
what about you wash him down yourself?
All of that, exactly. Then
A
that's the
romantic experience.
okay. Nobody's feelings are hurt, and you gotten your point across. All of that. Like, there's ways to do it to make the other person feel good about what you have together, about your interaction with them. And I think that is lost. It's like, how would you want to be treated in that situation? Because that's a delicate, subject. Like, maybe they didn't smell themselves, because maybe there's people that smelled worse than them, and they thought it was the other person. You don't know. Don't judge. Don't assume. Just let them know. Well, in this situation right here, I can smell you. Do you, what you want to do? You want me to run your bath water? You want to take a bath, or you just gonna go shower? I can put something on real quick while you in the shower. Whatever.
I got
But
one better than that. Well, all you got to do is be like, hey, come hop in the shower with me. You take a shower too. Both of y'all showering together.
either way, there's
That
always a
might not work
win-win.
though,
It ain't gonna. Why not? Why it won't work?
because from a man's point, yeah, that sounds good. From a woman's point, that possibly won't work, because first thing will trigger in their mind is you just want some sex, and you got to smooth that thing over a whole lot better than that, because women are already in a precarious position as it is, because I mean, from the feminist movement all the way on down, it's they're fighting for the same playing field, and sex puts everything else in a whole different perspective. So a lot of women are technically on guard from the aspect of sex, because we pigeonhole them. I mean, the reality of it is men have pigeonholed women to sex, and if that is what the nature of if you were going to the shower, if that was a possible outcome that you wanted, it has to be presented where it's actually a benefit, to where it's mainly affection for a woman. We operating on sex, they operating on affection. So that delivery has to be in the realm of you showing her affection, as opposed to getting your itch scratched. I tell dudes all the time, if you have sex with a woman, you're gonna automatically orgasm. I mean, it's just prominent. So when you're dealing with that aspect of it, it's automatic for us. I mean, there's a huge gap between men having an orgasm and a woman having an orgasm. Some women go in life, they never ever have an orgasm. So, so I don't want to get too far
I
off
saw the
from that,
eyebrow, but it
but
is.
but With that aspect there, it's there's an unbalance in the whole sexual realm because we just aren't the same. They literally deal with affection, in which that's an emotion. It's an emotion state, which is their greatest characteristic. There's nothing on that nothing that trumps their characteristic of emotion. I mean, it's 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 God level practically because women with that whole affection, if we having an issue and she rub you on your back, you're soothed. You're at a whole different level as opposed to you've seen it in groups on Facebook or wherever that and women will turn around and say it. They'll give a man sex because they know how we are for their interest to avoid apologizing. So we know that the sex aspect is not an equal ground. So as men, I think we trip up a lot of not really taking the time to actually process things that we say because we're thinking from our aspect of uh, how we can actually get things done and wherever this is as opposed to their actual needs. So I basically said that it's just to be saying that as a man, we have to be more conscious as to what you're saying because if you're not, it's gonna go. It's not gonna come out or be perceived as you thought it would be from her.
Right, right. The thing is, I've never had that problem with a woman though. Every woman I've been with, they
Cause you
took
can
at least
smell
two,
them
two,
from.
3 baths a day, 2, 3 showers a day. Never had that problem with a woman. Never.
But yeah, but it's that's the friendship aspect. Like you would know how to talk to your friend. You know, like, oh, I can't say this because they gon' they're not gonna take that well. They're not gonna get the point I'm trying to make if I say it like this. So that's where the friendship aspect comes in. Like you should already know like what what they respond positively to. So make it a win-win. Take the time to put your words in a way that they will receive them in the way that you intend them, because that's the thing. Like intention is great. What they say, what the road to hell is paved with good intention. So it's like you got to make sure where you're actually sending that road to. Like, yeah, you intend to put down the road, but where is it going?
Yeah.
So
And
make sure
like I didn't intend for that to happen. Well, you intended something, so even that's a lie. You intended,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead, Quinn.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Mary.
I mean, we're talking about unpacking a lot in this moment. Just to kind of like first, go back to piggyback off what Will was discussing in reference to mastering and understanding again, like he said, this is about servanthood. That's who Christ represented the entire time he was here. He served others. And again, mastering yourself, like he said, we're not rulers, we're not owners, but we are managers. And when you're in a marriage, women, we are supervisors. Okay. But we are still responsible for the commandment that was given of origin, which is dominate, cultivate, reproduce. And so we are dominators, but he never gave us the authority to dominate each other. He told us to dominate that which is around us, the world. And then also, what were we to do to dominate it with what? His culture, with his lifestyle, with his will, and with his way. So, the way in which you do things, the way in which the world turns, that's what he wanted us to dominate. But he never gave us the authority to dominate another person, even a man dominating his wife. Like, so this is again about respect. It is about friendship, but most important, it's about you having control over you. And that's where you get your fasting, your praying, because you have to have control over this flesh. Okay, this flesh gonna take you anywhere, all over the place. And for women, not being facetious, like he's saying, we have an emotional factor that is built in. And even around the time where we can be the most, in control person. And guess what happens? You have a whole
Oh, is
miserable.
she cutting up?
Am I cutting off? Okay. Can you hear me now?
You was skipping a
Yeah,
little
I hear
bit.
you.
Oh no, I heard you the whole time.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at the footage too, and it's going straight. So it may do that, but the footage is showing straight. It did that a few times for a
Oh,
few
okay.
people looking, but the footage
Okay.
good. But yeah, this is more so about, mastering yourself, and like he was saying, serving yourself first. Like if you planned on cooking this dish, you should have tasted it. You plan on giving this to somebody else, you should have tasted it for yourself. And then again, don't enter any relationship. You should have you under control and under subjection to God, and it's his standard, not the one you recreated, not the one you wrote down, not the like it's his standard that we need to submit ourselves underneath, and mastering no, I'm sorry, representing yourself. That's another subject matter in which you have to look at you like a for real honest look at you, the way in which God looks at you, not the way people look at you, because they can give you a misconcept of your identity. And then also you can give yourself a misconcept of your identity. We talked about how you look in the mirror. You're not even looking straight one eye to the next eye. You're off already starting, and the mirror within itself is already marred. So where you're looking is improper, So it all goes back to, again, studying, being taught, teaching yourself his word, applying his word to your life. It start right here. You are your neighbor. You are the person next door. You know what I'm saying? We have duality of flesh. So it is about you treating you the way in which God said, because you can say, hey, treat somebody like they want to be treated, but you don't know how people like to be treated. I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to accept the way in which he told us to treat each other. What's the greatest love? It's that friendship. Master it. Get that straight. But be a friend to yourself first. It's still gonna start right here. Have that Nehemiah spirit. It's gonna start right here in your house. And then as everybody work outside, we meet each other outside at the curb, because we didn't got ourselves together. We didn't got our homes under submission and law. And then now we can come on outside and meet other people who's been working accordingly. And instead of us having this huge project of rebuilding our community, it's already rebuilt. Like we started each other in our own home. So, it's a real project. It's a real project. You are really a work. And it's just high time we get to it for the betterment, not just for ourselves, but generationally thinking. We have to change these ideologies and concepts and reteach them, not just for ourselves, but for the generation and 4 generations down at least, for his namesake.
Just
Absolutely.
just really, what was going on in the comments? What
I had
happened? They was talking about gravy, put some butter on it,
no
drizzle some hot sauce. Like
It's a lot going on in
it,
the comments. Like,
it went way left. They was like, no, forget the shower, skip the
yeah.
shower, go straight to the
Yeah, I
tub.
don't know what
And
they
then
talking
somehow
about.
the person in the
Yeah.
tub became soup.
Yeah, that conversation started all the way back, but I ain't bring it up only
Yeah.
because we were trying to close out. But other than that, I
It
would have kept that going.
Yeah, I ain't even see what's going on. So, okay.
it
King
started
King
with that.
Dwayne.
Yeah, read the comments on YouTube.
It started with that blood on the dance floor, but we ain't gonna say nothing. Uh,
What?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it did. I cannot right now. Will stop it. Do you see us trying to close?
Gone, man.
Oh,
Gone. Gone.
we're trying to close. Okay.
Will got too
I
much
ain't
time to
saying
prove.
nothing.
Ooh.
No, we talk about the other one. But I like what everybody had to say. I'm not about to prolong nothing. Just coming off of reflecting on what will. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Just reflecting on what my big bro had to say. Um, yeah, we have to really self reflect. We have to be willing to do that work. We have to be willing to really. I've said so many times before to so many people that when you love a person, when it's really about that, and it's not about all this other stuff. You got people, they'll sit up there and be afraid of marriage, but they already know how tall they want the man to be, what the color his eyes to be, and they'll have children based off that. But we don't want to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like we have some crazy, crazy aspirations when it comes down to relationships. I think when it comes down to both sides, men have their things they want, but when they really get mature, there's some very realistic things that they look for when they're talking about kings. And the same on the same token on the other side, when the women really get an understanding of what needs to be done, then they're not coming to the table talking about, you know, he should be like me and blah blah blah. He gonna want what I want and all the different things. You
Right.
come and asking questions because you understand what you're coming to. You know what I'm saying? You're not coming to this thing to rule. And I think that we're living in a society where men are literally having to sit back and watch how competitive and how fierce these women are going after careers and things like that. And by the time they look up, the time that it took to build themselves a career and all this stuff, yeah, they atrophied a lot because with their dating muscles and different things like that and how to communicate, because there was more energy put in that than it was put into, and into building a relationship with somebody. And like one pastor that me and Will both know, one of my favorite pastors, he always says like you end up coming kind of weird sometimes the longer you stay single and just act like it ain't nothing you need to do with yourself. It ain't no serving you need to do with yourself. No character building, no this, that, other. You really atrophy and you forget. You really never put no energy into how to talk to people. So you go out here with these crazy demands, these crazy feelings, these crazy Walt Disney dreams, and you're wondering why the market, the pawn shop is looking at you like you crazy because they gonna tell you their price regardless, and you're gonna be the one in denial because you haven't put in the work to serve yourself and become a better person. So, in coming off what Will said, and then what Doc Ock was saying, and just going back to what Mary said, and just what everybody has said this whole broadcast, it comes back to just full circle to respect. If you respect the one who runs everything, then submission is not going to be hard because that submission word is really talking to about the greater idea. His idea is greater than a man's. His idea is
Mm-hmm.
greater than a woman. So that's what you submit to when you get into marriage. Both wills, as
Mhm.
Bill Will has said to me years ago, you drop your will as a man, you drop your will as a woman to submit to the greater will that's marriage. And it ultimately becomes service, back to what Will said. It ultimately becomes ministry, that's service, back to what Mary said. It materializes as you go when you got real people who are willing to die to themselves back to the
Yeah.
scriptures. You have to do that thing daily to become a better whole complete person so that you go out into this market and you are intentional about your dating, so you understand that it's not the same as courtship, but by the time you get to courtship
Mhm.
you understand everything that's happening because you weeded through and you vetted through what you needed to vet through in the serving yourself stage. And that's
Mhm.
how we are able to represent ourselves in the proper
All right. All right, man. Thank you, sir. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, all the people in the chat room. And my final thought I'm gonna say is this is for everybody. Drink water, get naked, and look in the mirror. Okay? Because if you do that, you'll see who you really are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Mhm.
Some people are afraid to look in the mirror and look at themselves. So yeah, drink you some water and just hey, look in the mirror and see who you really are. That's my last final thought for the night.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add, I'm sorry. Like, so it's just key for us to understand that everything, not just relationship, but most importantly, relationships. This is about God. This is not about you. This isn't really about you marrying the person of your dreams. This isn't about you having, houses and cars and clothes and, the white picket fence and two children and a dog. This not about you. This is about his purpose. He had a whole plan from the gate. He has a whole plan. And so you being with another person is about you two getting together, like he was saying, under his submission, under his law. You have agreed that what he put in place is right because you sought the kingdom, you sought his righteousness. So what he put in place is right. And then on top of that, you guys are having children together. You guys are coming together to do what he told us to do, which is reproduce, meaning bring about another person in my image, in my likeness, in my character, so that when they grow up and you train them up the same way, and then when they grow up, guess what? They doing the same. So this is an assembly line. This is a production line. And the moment that you do what it is that you want to do, you cancel the manufacturer's warranty. So remember that this is about him. Your marriage is about him. It's not about you and just being with somebody that's cute. This ain't that. This is more serious than that. And he's requiring us to reproduce for his namesake. My apologies. So that's my final on that, King.
His namesake, yes, reproduce for his namesake. You know what, may we had to hop on this another time, but for some reason I've always wondered, and really I got a couple buddies that's like this. When they, I got a couple buddies that's married and they have a wife and kids, but every time they wife get pregnant, they always having girls. It's like, man, it's something up with my sperm counts. So, and a lot of time these men, they want these boys.
Oh, it's
They
too
want
hot.
these kings. That's what
It's
they
too hot. You
want.
got to air it out. No,
Yeah, they want
seriously.
these
If
boys.
if your scrotum temperature is too hot, you can't like you won't have boys because the Y obviously the Y chromosome is smaller. So if you make it hot, it's
Really?
able to withstand the heat, and you're going to end up with a lot more double X chromosome sperm. So uh
Oh.
Yes,
stop wearing the tight drawers,
that
air
could
it out,
You gotta air
put
it
a
out
fan or
down there.
something on it. Like seriously, no, yeah, for real.
it could
Don't
definitely
even wear underwear. Just
Hey,
be
yeah,
loose
okay.
down there.
Hey, and there it
it
is.
can definitely help. But remember again, it's strategic. This is not about you. So if you having these girls, that's for his purpose. And yeah, you
Ah,
want
good
to have
one.
a boy because that's namesake. That name ain't changing. You
Yeah.
know that legacy,
Yep.
legacy, legacy. And so
Yep.
you know the importance of a man. This ain't just today. This been through history. Like this, the devil knows the importance of a man and his image. That's why he going through all the trouble he going through to get to him and stop him and tarnish it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, you got to understand it's for his namesake. So if it's a bunch of girls, he needed you to have them girls and train them up for these kings, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
don't just focus. This ain't about you. Never
True.
will.
That is
Never
true. That
will be.
is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it's a little too cold out there now, though. It was about 8 degrees today. I wouldn't advise you
Warm up. Warm
Yeah,
up.
no, no,
don't
no.
do
Wrap
that
them up.
today. Not today.
Yeah, do what she
Not
said.
today.
Put some earmuffs or something on them. I don't know, but that will help your chances. You know,
Will, please
try
don't find a
and
picture of
put
that.
some hands, muffle that.
Did she say
Uh,
earmuffs?
and do something.
Yeah.
Ear-
Yes, she did.
Earmuff things.
All
I
right.
don't know, but if she's saying that'll help.
All right. On that note, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday.
Super fur.
Uh,
Come.
yeah, boy. Them earmuffs gonna cause a heat problem, and they gonna be smelling worse.
You gonna get jock itch. You gonna have to get like
Sticky
some
earmuff.
you got to get some gold bond.
Problem.
And we used to call that jungle rot in high school.
Oh,
You gotta get that gold bond, boy.
You got
Can't sit down, be itching and stuff. Every time you sit down, you itching and jumping.
uh,
Wait,
the
gotta get
wrestlers
that.
had that real bad. Oh.
Yeah, and I used to be a wrestler. I used to be a
And
wrestler.
they
I
get
had
it
to.
on their head because they
Yeah,
wrestling on the mat, and so
I
they
used
have
to
it
tell
all
the
on their.
coach. I used to ask the coach if he could make a custom make my little singlet because that's what they call a singlet. I said I need
right.
mine custom made.
We're
I was like,
ending the
cause I
show.
can't be itching down there like that. I
We
can't be
got ending
itching.
the show.
Somebody gonna think I got something.
This went left real quick.
Okay,
Okay,
we
y'all,
ended.
y'all,
We
y'all
I
do.
gone.
was trying. I was trying to end it. Y'all done got me started
Right,
now.
yeah, y'all
Y'all done
dramatic.
got me
Oh,
started
y'all
now.
got her now.
I'm just saying.
We all
That
get
jock
that.
itch, I'm telling you, that jock itch is no joke. Okay,
Okay,
you down there digging and scratching, people would think something is
Man,
wrong with you. People would think something is wrong with you.
that,
Welcome to
that
the post show chatter.
I cannot.
I used to ask
Now
if I
y'all
could
see
wear
what we talk
shorts.
about when we off
Like,
air.
hey, can I wear shorts and wrestle? Because I can't wear this little singlet thing anyway. It's destroying my manhood anyway to put this thing on.
Wow. Wow.
yeah, that
Ah,
that plays a part in how much you sweat too, because
yes.
we used to have to wear jocks driving football, and I never got the jock itch or jungle strop. Well, I mean jungle rot as we called it, but
Hunger Ride.
I noticed some guys would, and then I started paying attention. Like, okay, how often you taking your stuff home to clean it?
Oh
Because
yeah.
Mhm.
because like I said, everybody don't sweat the same. So the
Right.
more you sweat, the more you are at risk of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so you
right,
try to have to put earmuffs on down there.
Oh,
And
washing it in
None
vinegar
of
too
that.
helps too. Helps keep down the bacteria
Wash
growth.
what in vinegar?
Put in vinegar.
Uh, the jock strap because
Oh well.
vinegar,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
vinegar prevents
Okay.
Cause I'm
mold and
like, I'm not
bacteria
washing
growth.
my body in vinegar now.
No, I mean
Yeah.
you can
He
put it
said,
in your water. Like it's all it is. It just makes it a little
he
bit more
said, he
acidic.
said jungle
But
Now
run.
that vinegar be that vinegar burn. That
because you
vinegar
putting too
burn.
much, it's like a cap full, sir. Like you don't need the whole bottle. It's like
Oh, so
literally like
you saying put a
Say
cap
my
full in my bath
say my
water?
man
yeah, you can. Yes,
my man think he
it
rise
adjusts the
all
pH a
cool.
little bit. Right,
Okay,
right.
Hey, what'd you say? What'd you say, Dwayne?
Hey, if you ever watch Will know that's why he laughing.
Yeah,
If you ever you see I got this Batman there. If you ever
yeah.
watch Batman the animated series, Ra's al Ghul went out in that pond, that green
Mhm.
pond, and came back immortal, rejuvenated. He get old and he get into that little pond and come back immortal.
Brand new man.
Right. That's how you
But
gonna
see,
feel.
that's why it's important to take baths to wash yourself because it
Right.
rejuvenates you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
It do feel
resets
different.
your bacteria because you
It
have
does-
bacteria living on your skin all the time. But
Right.
that's why we wash ourselves so that the bad bacteria that the good bacteria on our skin has been fighting will get washed off. And then you can
Right.
start over. So you don't want the buildup of the bad bacteria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like
He said jungle ride.
I started wearing a cup after this, so I wore a cup.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Well, we
Will
okay.
push the buttons. Push the
Okay,
buttons,
I'm
Will.
pushing it. We out, y'all. Love y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Have a good one.
That's with a
All right.
lot of vocabulary. Please define jungle ride in your life. I'm telling you, you have to
Get
go.
you a rock true shirt,
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Hey, I'm on that.
Yes.
About to
and
be
it's
on
got
that.
the fist,
You
the
own it?
Black History
You
Month
own
fist.
Okay.
it?
I gotta give me one of those for real. I
Hey,
gotta
Yep,
I
give
that
me
got
one of
got
hey,
we
those.
got it on hoodies. We
I
got it on
got
the
to get me
face
I got
mask.
to get me a
Uh,
mug for my tea, and I got to
Woo!
get me a hoodie. I got to get all
Yes,
that. Oh
yes.
yeah.
I can't wait. I'm be looking for you. Like, where's it? Where you at,
Oh
King?
yeah.
Rap.
I got
Come
you.
on, we talking
I
about
got
represent. Come on and rap.
yes,
yes.
branded in
Absolutely.
his
Yes.
Come on.
image.
Don't
Absolutely.
do
That's
it.
right. That's
Don't
right.
play games now,
We
rap.
branding.
Oh
That's it.
yeah.
We branded. That's right.
Oh yeah.
All right, y'all. We are
All
out of
right,
here. Rock
y'all.
Truth 2, your Kingdom Apparel. Thank you so
All right.
much, Lord Ty.
All right.
We
Thank you,
good?
everybody. Peace. We
Okay.
good.
Yep.
Peace. We out.